What's up, folks? I'm Private Hudson, and this is Whimsy Bake and Craft. This is an idle game with a genuinely cute art style, buried under a very tedious, grind-heavy system. The premise is also questionable. You run a magical bakery where you combine plants with sea creatures. And look, I like seafood, but the idea of baking bread, cakes, and making ice cream with fish is just disgusting. I don't know who thought this was appealing, but it immediately makes me sick. At its core, the game is simple. You take on orders and fulfill them. Some are story missions with a pretty rough Chinese to English translation, and others are randomly generated. The random ones give you money and materials used for planting and fishing as rewards, while the story missions unlock things like new workers and more workstations. You start small with one station for each facility, baking, fishing, and planting, and eventually expand to 4 of each. That all sounds fine. The problem is everything that's surrounding it. First, there's basically no offline progress. The only exception is one employee, which is a lawn chair, that slowly generates resources on its own. Everything else? Nothing. If the game isn't running, you're not making progress. So for an idle game, it completely misses the point. You're expected to just leave it running in the background for hours, pretty much wasting electricity. And even when you do that, progress is still inconsistent because the entire game is built around RNG. Prices fluctuate daily, gathering materials is random, crafting success is also random. You're shown possible outcomes when you're planting or fishing on the right side of the screen, but you're never told the actual drop rates. So when the game says something like +2 rare chance, that means absolutely nothing because you do not know what the base rate is to begin with. And it doesn't stop there. Your bakers can just fail. You can use higher quality ingredients to improve your odds, but again, you're never told what those odds actually are. So you're constantly guessing whether you're making progress or just wasting time. This game turns into a slog, especially when quests demand rare food or high decoration scores. I had one instance where I left the game running for hours because I was trying to farm a single glimmer clover so that I can make a rare recipe. When I finally got it, guess what? The baker failed. So I had to alt-tab out and wait several hours again for a farmer to generate one. And here's the kicker. Finished goods expire after 3 real-world days. So the game doesn't progress while you're offline, but it also punishes you for being offline. That's a terrible combination. Then there's the decoration system, which just doesn't make any sense. You're forced to hit arbitrary decoration scores as part of the main quest line, but the furniture is absurdly expensive, so you grind for hours just to buy items, and their placement doesn't even matter. Throw them anywhere, watch the number go up, no creativity, no strategy, just place it wherever the hell you want. On top of that, the UI makes everything more tedious than it needs to be. Reassigning workers is clunky. You can view the basic and advanced recipes for ingredients and products, and under each one there is a button that says Apply. However, you need to have an empty station. If all your stations are full, you need to manually click on one, manually unassign a worker to free the station up, go back to that menu screen, find the recipe, and click Apply. Why can't I just apply the recipe to an existing station and overwrite whatever the current employee is working on? Why can't I do that? Buying and selling is just as bad. You either type in numbers or drag a slider. No buy all, no shortcuts other than sell all, which isn't always what you want when you're saving up certain products for quests. You're also not notified when a station runs out of materials and it goes back to producing default waste products. So if I'm trying to catch a rare fish, and I have the game running in the background for hours, but I never realized the worker has run out of rare bait and has defaulted to catching plain fish, well, that's just hours wasted. Thanks to the dev for giving me a free key, but I do not recommend this. There are plenty of idle games that actually respect your time. This one does not. It demands constant attention, hides everything behind unclear RNG, and punishes you whether you're playing or not. And aside from the art style, there's nothing here to justify putting up with it.